Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos. So I am going to be giving you the latest on Manchester United's transfer news, and there is lots of topics to delve into. So according to Bild, which is a German newspaper, they have said that Manchester United are interested in signing Allasane Plea from Borussia Mönchengladbach. It also mentions that Arsenal and Tottenham and Leicester have also expressed their interest, and reportedly Allasane Plea will be available for around £40 million this summer. So Manchester United, Arsenal and Tottenham and that, may submit bids in for the player. Now, the stories that came out regarding Allasane Plea, they came out from Sky in Germany the other week, saying that Manchester United were interested in the player. Now, I think he's actually a very, very good player, is Allasane Plea. I think he's been very, very good at Borussia Mönchengladbach. He also scored at the weekend within, the first minute, because Borussia Mönchengladbach did beat Frankfurt at the weekend by 3-1. He is 27 years of age. Borussia Mönchengladbach did pay around €25 million for him from Nice back in 2018. So this has been Allasane Plea's second season with Borussia Mönchengladbach, and he has got a contract with them until 2023, because when he signed for them, he did sign a 5-year deal. Before he was at Nice, I think he was at Lyon. He actually began his career at Lyon, did the player. But yeah, very, very good player, very good finisher, prolific goal scorer. I think he's predominantly a striker, but you can also put him on the wing as well. So yeah, it's been coming out in the last week or so saying that Manchester United have expressed an interest in him. So do you think he would be the right player if he was to come to Manchester United? Do let me know in the comments below. I think he's got around, 9 goals this season for Borussia Mönchengladbach and provided around 7 assists. I think he's made around 50 odd appearances in the Bundesliga. But yeah, there's been quite a few clubs that have been interested in him. So yeah, £40 million, cheap solution. Very, very cheap solution. And he's 27, like I said, so you'd get, at least a good 3 or 4 years out of him. But yeah. So that is the latest news on Allasane. His middle name's actually, is it Alexandra, if I'm right, Plea, yeah? So there you go. But there's been a lot of strikers on our agenda, a hell of a lot of strikers on our agenda. I've already given you the news on Raul Jimenez from Wolves. Obviously, my video that I did this morning, I give you the news on Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland, I don't think will leave Dortmund in the summer. You know the ongoing situation with Odin Ighalo. It is uncertain at the moment, whether we are going to get Odin Ighalo on a permanent transfer. Obviously, we'll have to pay around £20 million to get Odin Ighalo on a permanent transfer. But maybe, Manchester United have got reservations about paying £20 million for him. But Ighalo's revealed that he wants his loan deal at the football club extended. His loan spell at the football club does expire at the end of next month. Does Odin Ighalo's. I think, personally, he'll make a return back to Shanghai Shenhua. So we're basically looking for a replacement for him. Obviously, you already know the news on Timo Werner as well from RP Leipzig. Like I mentioned yesterday, his move to Manchester United is still a possibility, but I doubt it very, very much in that. So which striker should Manchester United sign in the summer transfer window? So yeah. Now, I also want to talk with you about Rio Ferdinand, because Rio Ferdinand has recently come out and said that he's come out and named, the 3 players that he wants Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to sign in the summer. So he's named the 3 players that he wants Solskjaer to sign, and that is Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund, Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid, and Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. So they're the 3 players that Ferdinand wants Manchester United to recommend in the summer. Obviously, them 3 players are going to cost us a substantial amount. Rio Ferdinand has also said, Manchester United should give Jadon Sancho the number 7 shirt. I think if he comes to Man United, we are willing to give Jadon Sancho that iconic number 7. Obviously, because I said, we've got number 7 vacant at the moment, and we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, but, our recent number 7s haven't been so good. Now, David Ornstein's been talking about Jadon Sancho, hasn't he, recently, and he says, Dortmund will not doubt that they won't have any doubts that there won't be an offer in the summer. Dortmund know that there's going to be an offer made for Jadon Sancho this summer. Whether it's going to be enough for Dortmund to offload him or not, I don't know. Could maybe 80 or 90 million pound convince them to offload him, but there again, Dortmund remain ruthless over their valuation. Dortmund have said, they want at least 100 million pounds for Sancho. David Ornstein, like I said, credible journalist, he said last week, was it, that Sancho will not be sold for less than 100 million pounds. And it said from the media last week, we're only willing to pay 60 or 70 million pounds for Sancho, but I don't think either of them figures are going to be enough, to convince Dortmund to offload him and that. I don't think it's going to be enough, but Dortmund have come to accept, that transfer fees will drop in the summer and that. But I think we've already said, we are not willing to smash our transfer record for Jadon Sancho. Now, we're not the only club that have been in for him, Chelsea, of course, are still in for Sancho. Liverpool have obviously, been in for him. Real Madrid were in for him. But he did reveal earlier on this season, if he is to leave Borussia Dortmund, his preference would be a move to Manchester United. And I outlined a couple of main explanations, why it would be beneficial for us to recommend Jadon Sancho in is because he's well Premier League proven. He's got a really, really good friendship as well with Marcus Rashford, so this is why. And I just think he would dramatically improve us. We've been in for Jadon Sancho for quite a few years. We first expressed our interest in Sancho in 2017, and this was before he went to Borussia Dortmund, of course. Now, of course, Jadon Sancho's into his 3rd season at Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, he did play, I think, 11 minutes of Dortmund's 4-0 win against Schalke at the weekend. Obviously, he didn't start because he was out with a calf injury. Dortmund, give their overarching view on it, the other week, and they actually, said that they expect Sancho to stay with them this summer. But Sancho has had a long-running transfer saga. Reports came out a couple of weeks ago saying that we've changed our plans now and we're planning to sign Sancho in the summer of 2021 instead of signing him this summer. Like I said, Dortmund are hoping to make around a £92 million profit on the player because Dortmund only paid £8 million in from Manchester City back in 2017. The main explanation why Sancho left Manchester City is because he didn't get any first-team opportunities at Manchester City. That's why he left. But he was there a couple of years, like I mentioned. City made a profit themselves, though, when they let him go because City only paid £500,000 for him from Watford. Jadon Sancho began his footballing career with Watford and he was at Watford for several years with Sancho. And, like Fabrizio Romano broke out, I think it was a while ago, but he still mentioned it and he said, we've been working on Jadon Sancho's contracts for quite some time. We've also been in negotiations with his agent for quite some time. So there you go. If Sancho is sold, I think Manchester City do benefit from it anyway because I think they get around 15% of the transfer fee due to the couple of clauses. And Borussia Dortmund are known as a selling club because they've let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. They let obviously Pulisic go, they let Aubameyang go, they let Gundogan go, they let Shinji Kagawa go, Mkhitaryan. Obviously, as well, don't forget, they let a few others go who didn't go to the Premier League, and that was Ousmane Dembele. He went to Barcelona. From Borussia Dortmund, Matt Hummels, I think he went to Bayern Munich and that. So Dortmund have lost quite a few of their imperative players in that. But Jadon Sancho may end up staying at Borussia Dortmund. I think he's still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022 and he's only at the age of 20. And he's predominantly a right winger and Man United are in search for a right winger. So there you go. Like I said, it said a while back, Jadon Sancho could reject a move to Manchester United, if we can't offer any Champions League football. But he is one of our priority targets. So, yeah, Ferndinand said, we need to recommend him in. In regards to Saul Niguez, you already know the news on Saul Niguez, don't you? I give you the news on Saul Niguez the other day. Reports from the Spanish press have allegedly said that Manchester United, are close to completing the signing of Saul Niguez. Reportedly, a fee of around £70 million has been agreed between Manchester United and Atletico Madrid for Saul Niguez. I think a lot of Manchester United fans, believe on this topic that is the media justifying their existence because, there's a lot of uncertainty over finances and that this summer. And all of a sudden it comes out from the Spanish press saying that we're close to signing Saul Niguez and that. But, we have been in for Saul Niguez before. Saul Niguez's actual release clause at Atletico Madrid is 100 and I think it's in the 130 odd £million range. I think it's like 130, 100 or 132, something like that. But Atletico Madrid did confirm before the football season got suspended that, they wanted Saul Niguez's release clause to be triggered if Atletico Madrid were willing to offload the player. But obviously, now Atletico Madrid may have to accept or will have to accept £70 million. Don't get me wrong, I like Saul Niguez a lot. He's a very, very good player. Obviously, he's been at Atletico Madrid for several years as Saul Niguez. He's been, I think, at Atletico Madrid since 2008, so this has been his 12th season with Atletico Madrid. I think he's made around 384 appearances in all competitions. I think it revealed last October as well that, Barcelona had agreed a deal to get Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid for around 15 million, that is. But Barcelona decided not to take that first option to sign him, so this is why his move to Barcelona didn't materialise. Saul Niguez has got a contract with Atletico Madrid till 2026. So still got a good 5 years or so on his contract left because back in 2017, Saul Niguez signed a 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid and that. Like I said, Atletico Madrid have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. They lost Griezmann last summer. They did get a substantial amount for him. I think Atletico Madrid got a good 108 million for Griezmann. Also, too, they lost Diego Gordon. He was a loan servant for them. They also lost Rodri last year, did Atletico Madrid. But there again, they have recruited quite a few players in recent years. They got Joe Felix in for 113 million, fourth most expensive player in the world. They got the likes of Lamar in, Kieran Trippier. They got Morata and Diego Costa in recent years. So there you go. It's not only Saul Niguez that's been linked to a move away from Atletico Madrid. There's also talks of Thomas Partey leaving Atletico Madrid. But I think it mentioned that we'd scouted Saul Niguez in Atletico Madrid's 3-2 win against Liverpool in the last 16 of the Champions League and that. So maybe there isn't a lot of trustworthy in the story regarding Saul Niguez. Now, so Ferndinand said, we should also sign him. And he's also said as well that we should sign Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. Same sort of thing with the Saul Niguez story. I don't believe there's a lot of trustworthy, in the story regarding Kalidou Koulibaly. I probably expect Kalidou Koulibaly to stay at Napoli this summer. Obviously, quite a few clubs have been in for him. Obviously, Man United. Recently says as well, Newcastle. Liverpool, it said quite a few weeks ago, have been in advanced talks with Napoli over signing him and that. But maybe we could be tempted to go in for Kalidou Koulibaly because reportedly he's available or could be available for around £62 million, and that's stemming from Gazzetta dello Sport, which is an Italian outlet. Obviously, Napoli did say if they were to sell Kalidou Koulibaly this summer, they would want £90 million. Obviously, that figure would make him our most expensive signing and, the most expensive centre-half in the world. But obviously, Napoli can't get £90 million for the player. Now, obviously, Kalidou Koulibaly told the Napoli president in March that he wanted to leave. Reports came out the other week saying that, Kalidou Koulibaly's decided that he wants to leave Napoli at the end of the season. Now, he's a very, very good centre-half, is Kalidou Koulibaly, and don't get me wrong, I'd be very, very excited about him playing alongside Maguire in our back line. Maguire, I would. Same sort of thing with Liverpool. They would be very, very excited about Kalidou Koulibaly playing alongside Virgil van Dijk in their back line. But I just don't see him leaving Napoli this summer. Maybe in the next year or two he could leave Napoli, but I don't see it happening this summer. Kalidou Koulibaly's got a contract with Napoli till 2023. He's now this has been his 6th season with Napoli. think he's played around 233 games in all competitions. But even if Napoli were to get 60-odd million pounds for him, they'd still, they'd still make a huge profit on the player. They'd generate a lot more money than what they paid for him, because they only paid around, was it 6.5 million for him from Genk? Before he was at Genk, he was at Metz. Obviously, he was worth more than double 62 million pounds. Before, and a year or so ago, he's probably worth over 100 million pounds. We went in for Kalidou Koulibaly last summer. We had quite a few bids turned down for the player. But Ferndinand's advised us to sign him, but I don't think we'll get Kalidou Koulibaly on the board and that. So that is the latest on all of that. Like I updated you on my video that I did yesterday. Sorry, not my video I did yesterday. The video that I did this morning. Man United are due to return to training tomorrow. I think that has been confirmed. The Premier League did confirm on a statement yesterday that clubs have voted to return to small training groups from today. So this is very, very positive news. And when, the season does resume, we're going to have a fully fit squad, because, Marcus Rashford's been stepping up his fitness regime. He's been visiting Carrington in the last couple of weeks. Paul Pogba's also back now. He's recovered from that ankle injury that I had. We was obviously, planning to return to training, on the week beginning the 18th of May anyway. We was at Carrington on Sunday. The main explanation is because our players were getting tested for COVID-19. Obviously, we haven't trained together since the 13th of March or something like that, because his football season's been suspended for the good, it's now 8-9 weeks or something like that. So there you go. So that is a very, very positive news. So this is now a step forward to resuming the season and that. As it stands at the moment, we're sitting 5th in the Premier League. We're 3 points behind Chelsea. I'm very, very convinced, that we can get qualification for the Champions League. I'm very, very convinced we can do it. I don't know what's happening with the European games, by the way. Hopefully they can get back running the European games, because, we're into the last 8 of the Europa League, and the Europa League's a chance for us getting some weight on the board under Solskjaer. Also, too, FA Cup. Last time I heard about FA Cup, it was scrapped. But, we did progress to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. These 92 games to play in all competitions. And by the way, I think the new season could be starting in late August or early September and that, so that's been confirmed. But yeah, so who will Manchester United sign in the summer? And like I said to it's going to be interesting to see how we approach the summer transfer window. Because I'll reiterate what I mentioned on one of my other videos. I think I mentioned on a couple of videos, in fact. I think this summer we can enjoy the perfect transfer window. The main explanation is because, a lot of clubs are going to have an unprecedented summer transfer window. Like I mentioned, City, they've broken financial fair play rules, and due to that, they're banned from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons. Arsenal, their players have had to take wage cuts. Chelsea, we don't know what's happening with them. David Ornstein said Liverpool, may not sign anybody in the summer. Confirmed a couple of weeks ago that, Liverpool had put their summer spending on hold. Tottenham, they don't like to spend money. I know Daniel Levy doesn't like to spend money. So we could benefit from, this pandemic and stuff like that in the summer transfer window. We really, really could benefit from it, because we've already revealed our transfer plans for the summer. Solskjaer, of course, still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Manchester United like he did do last summer. I think a lot of people like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy. This summer transfer window, will be Solskjaer's second summer transfer window as Man United manager, and it will be his 4th transfer window in total, because at the moment Solskjaer has enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club. Didn't recommend anyone in his first transfer window, but in the 2 previous transfer windows, Solskjaer has recommended 5 good players into the football club. And I've got to credit him for that, because the 5 players he has brought in have been very, very impressive. And Solskjaer spent £220 million on them 5 players. And he's already revealed, that he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer. because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings to become title contenders. This is, what he does believe. We need about 3 or 4 signings, and he's identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Need a centre forward, a right winger, and a midfielder. There's still some reports saying, that we do want to recommend a centre half in and that. But, Solskjaer came out the other week and he even made the admission saying that we're going to enjoy a different transfer window and stuff like that. This was his key transfer statement. Obviously, Ed Woodward, spoken about it as well. He says, we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market due to the coronavirus pandemic and stuff like that. So he says, we won't, spend big. And, he ruled out big transfers to Manchester United. But I think we can be very, very competitive in the summer transfer window. I really, really do. Like I said, we've been criticised for several years, of how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also been criticised for, overpaying for players and that. But I've got to make an admission, since Solskjaer's came in, we have improved in the transfer market, really, really have. Solskjaer's got the players that I wanted to recommend in, with, being a bit more sensible with our recruitment, if you get what I mean, and that. But I've seen improvements. Not only improvements, I've seen changes as well under Solskjaer, such as, you can say, his change of tactics, his change of personnel and stuff like that. A lot of players as well have improved under Solskjaer. The likes of Martial's done very, very well. Shaw's done well since he came back from injury. Fred's had an exceptional season. Rashford did well before he got that back injury. But all them players I've just mentioned to you all endured difficult times under the Jose Mourinho era, because Jose Mourinho's got a bad reputation with top players. So let's just put that into the equation. Let's just put that into the equation. That, like I said, Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well. Also, too, our record against the big six sides this season's been very, very good. I don't think it was so good last season. So you can see, the improvements under Solskjaer, definitely. To be fair as well, Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. We've seen a lot of players leave. Some players have left permanently. Some players have obviously, gone out on loan. Solskjaer's planning to get rid of around 6-7 players this summer because he's still deadwood at the football club. I think we're going to get rid of Phil Jones. We're also going to get rid of Jesse Lingard. I think we'll get rid of Lingard because he's so inconsistent. Probably the worst Manchester United player. I think we're going to get rid of Playere. Sanchez will probably go back out on loan because we'll find it hard to get rid of him permanently due to his substantial wages unless Sanchez comes back to Manchester United. But Sanchez is facing a dilemma. Small and Rojo, they'll go on permanent transfers as well. Pogba, still uncertainty over his future. Angel Gomez, I think he's going to be going on a free at the end of next month because that's when his contract expires, and there's no signs at all of Angel Gomez signing a new contract with Man United because we have put forward a few contract offers. Also, Delors could possibly leave the football club. He's a backup to Wan-Bissaka. Like I updated you, we're going to loan a couple of players out as well. I think we're going to loan James Garner out. I was hearing reports saying that, he's linked with a loan move to Sheffield Wednesday. I think we're also going to loan probably Tahith Chon out because his appearances have been limited as well. Dylan Levitt, there was talks about us putting him on loan as well. I think Dylan Levitt's only played once in the senior squad, and that was in the 2-1 defeat to FC Astana. So yeah, definitely, Solskjaer is going to get rid of players. But definitely, Solskjaer's job is safe, like Ed Woodward has assured. And Ed Woodward has said on quite a few occasions this season he is willing to back Solskjaer. Woodward's got a lot of trustworthy in him. Obviously, Woodward confirmed a couple of weeks ago, that he's no longer interested in recommending a director of footballing because we'd abandoned our search for a director of football after we'd been in search for a director of football for around 2 years. But at the time we was in for one, I did say, didn't I? That's one of the structural changes that we need, and if we want to get one in, we need to recommend someone who knows the club inside out, someone who's already, of course, got that experience. But we know now we're no longer getting a director of football in that. But I'm willing to back Solskjaer, give him another season, give him at least a couple more transfer windows and see who else he can recommend in. And if things don't go to plan next season, that's when I would sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I really, really would. But I think, like, the signing of Bruno Fernandes saved Solskjaer's job. I think, the wins against the likes of City and Tottenham this season, they also saved Solskjaer's job, because if we hadn't won any of them games, Solskjaer probably would have been sacked by now. We hadn't beaten Tranmere in the Cup. I think he could have been sacked. So there you go. But earlier on in the season, we was in for Pochettino. There was talks about him coming. There was talks about Pochettino coming before, Solskjaer came in. Obviously, Massimiliano Allegri was linked with the Man United job. But United fans have got different perceptions on Solskjaer. Some United fans think he's a foreseeable future, and some Man United fans think, we need a manager in at the top level, such as a Jurgen Klopp or a Pep Guardiola and that. But I do want things to work out under Solskjaer. It is a transition period, and like he revealed at the beginning of the season, the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. I think Solskjaer's still got around 2 years left on his Manchester United contract and that. And like I've said, we've been critical of Ed Woodward for several years. We've also had a lot of doubts about the club's ownership. So for several years, there's been a lot of issues at the football club in general. We've made a lot of mistakes as well in the last 6 or 7 years, and that's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent. Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. 3 managers have been sacked since the Ferguson era, of course. Moyes went after 9 months. Van Gaal went after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under Van Gaal. And obviously, Jose Mourinho got sacked after 2.5 years. He won the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season with Manchester United and that. But in the last 6 or 7 years, we've spent close to the £1 billion range on players. Not exactly £1 billion, but nearly £1 billion. And we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. So there you go and that. But so give him time. And, the other day, I give you the news on Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. The news on him. This was stemming from 90minute.com, and they said that Manchester United are close to signing Jude Bellingham. We believe we've won the race for the player. We also want to include his brother as part of the deal. He's called Jude Bellingham. He is 15. He's 15, is Jude Bellingham. So I want to get him as part of the deal, yeah. Jude Bellingham's expected to cost around 30 million. Around £30 million, yeah. Don't forget, we've made a promise to Jude Bellingham. If he comes to Man United this summer, he will immediately, become a first-team player. Jude Bellingham will sign his professional contract when he does turn 17. Doesn't he turn 17 next month, if I am right? Don't forget, Bellingham visited our Carrington training ground. He visited our Carrington training ground, was it back in March, to hold talks with Sir Alex Ferguson. He also met up met up with his parents, so that did fuel a lot of speculation up. Don't forget, Jude Bellingham is the youngest player to ever represent Birmingham, making his debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days. And he's played persistently this season for Birmingham. I think he's played around 35 games in all competitions as Jude Bellingham and that. But I do really, really like Jude Bellingham. He's had a good season in the Championship and that. He's still inexperienced because he's only at the age of 16. A couple of months ago, this was stemming from the German press, and, they said that Borussia Dortmund, were emerged as the favourites to sign the player. So, so if recent reports are to be believed, it's also looking very, very likely we're going to be signing Bellingham. You already know the news on Jack Grealish from Aston Villa. Villa are refusing to lower their £80 million asking price. Villa have said they want 80 million. Even if Villa get relegated, they still want £80 million for him. And Jack Grealish is, of course, one of our priority targets as well. So there's been so many players on our agenda. And that. But it's very imperative that we get the right players in this summer, because I want us to challenge for the league next season. I hope we can win the league next season, or if not next season, within the next 2 to 3 years or something like that. Because at the moment, City are strides ahead of us, Liverpool are strides ahead of us, and we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So the last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season, and that, So obviously, we do want to win it again, But like I said to you, I think the season's going to definitely resume, which is obviously, very, very good news. Obviously, there was talks about, games being venued at neutral grounds. I don't think it'll happen because too many, clubs have been protesting against that anyway. Obviously, 5 substitutions. And I've obviously got to self-isolate and that. So there you go. Something else we need to sort out as well. We've got around 8 or 9 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. That's something else we need to sort out. But to be fair, a lot of players' contracts have been extended since Solskjaer got recommended into the football club. So there you go. Like I said, we've got a decent team at the moment. There's a lot of players I would keep at Manchester United as well as let go. But it isn't good enough as yet, to challenge for the league or win the league and that. But there you go. And that's everything to update today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.